No, you managed fine. I had two Bostin Loyds at one point in the conversation.
Oh, okay.
How you doing? I was just listening to your latest Boston Blues, which, by the way, has an amazing intro. Did you see the intro on that thing?
I think his buddy did it because he doesn't know how to do any of that.
That's an amazing intro. But anyway, I was listening to it just now to see what updates I haven't heard from you before we get started.
Yeah, dude. Like me and him have a poor connection. We use Skype, and like me and you are clear. I see you fine and stuff, but like our connection was bad.
I think it was on his end.
Yeah, his end was terrible.
Yeah, but it was still good. Hey,
Yeah.
congratulations on trying again to have a second child. That's great news.
Oh yeah. We'll see by the end of this month. I'm done on those fertility drugs. I took my last shot like yesterday. So if we don't have luck, I'll wait until I feel healthy again later in the year or early next year, and then I'll try again.
Do you try every ovulation period, or do you just try all month?
I did 2 months straight on that stuff.
No, I know, but like, do you try to have a child only on the ovulation days intentionally, or do you try
Yeah,
to?
so honestly, we have tried to have sex every day.
Oh yeah,
Because when you're pounding that HCG and HMG, your recovery is a little bit better.
that's
I'll
true.
tell you what, though. I'll wait till we get into this shit. I'll talk about that shit.
What's that?
Just everything. Just that since I last talked to you, man.
Okay, so listen, before we get started on the personal stuff, I want to get your ideas on some things because I don't know anything about bodybuilding, but recently there's a lot of interesting things that have happened. One of them, actually, before we get started about the competitions, one of them, I don't know if you've been watching YouTube for the last couple of days, but Lee Priest did a curl video. Have you heard of this? Oh, okay. Then we can't discuss it, but you got to go watch it because last time we talked, I told you I do not believe Lee Priest's steroid dosages. No matter how much of a freak he is, I don't believe it. You said he's very honest. I said, you know what? You're right. Why would somebody be so honest and then lie about that? But then, okay, you got to watch it. But basically, the guy did a fake curl video. And then when he was caught about it, about the weights being fake, he told everyone it should have been obvious it was a joke. But there was no joke in the video at all. But you got to check it out.
You don't think if anyone didn't call him out, he wouldn't have said anything?
Yeah, he was not going to say anything. Yeah,
Wow.
it was very obvious, very obvious.
Was it just like a massive amount of weight?
Yeah, it was near the world record holder. Was an arm wrestler. It was a friend of mine. It was way stronger.
He didn't say like this is a joke or anything. Wow.
Not at all. You got to watch the video after and you make your own decision because
hey, if he lied about that, he definitely lied about a steroid shit.
Some people can be controversial and still not be honest. Some people just like to be controversial. But anyway, let's leave that aside. What did you think of the huge amounts of drama that happened with the I guess the California thing that happened in Vegas and the New York thing that happened in Tampa?
You mean the shows?
Yeah, like specifically, first of all, Ian Valier winning. Did you see him winning?
Yeah, I didn't like that call.
What did you thought the second guy should have won?
Either Max Charles or that Hassan guy.
Yeah, Hassan is very impressive, huh?
Yeah, he didn't know how to really pose, but yeah, he definitely had the best physique up there.
So you agreed with Milos when he was comparing the two, Max Charles.
Hassan and Max, I had 1 and 2.
Really, huh? Interesting. Yeah. I thought Max looks very good from the front as well, but they're saying that he has something with the back. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I mean, dude, it's almost like they're not even. I think conditioning should be very highly, placed. And Ian wasn't even peeled, you know what I mean? So I don't know.
What do you think creates a body like Ian's, where he doesn't seem to have fat? It's just like it's just like a slight softness.
Coach is a moron. His coach does a lot of this sodium loading, like lots of sodium loading, and keeps water high. So I think it's just water retention.
Who's his coach?
Patrick Tour.
Oh yeah, he's really well known. He's coaching Fuad, isn't he? Or that's
no, dude. All he does is cherry pick at the top, and he makes the guys that he cherry picks worse. He hasn't made anyone better. Dude, I'm not kidding you. He has like 300 clients, and like 250 of them all look like water buffaloes. He's a low protein, heavy carb, no fat, like low protein, massive carbs. Like diets his guys on like 800 grams of carbs.
I actually heard him have a conversation with Fuad on some interview, and he was making major mistakes with biology. Like, doesn't understand. Fuad was
Yeah,
like, you think you have high estrogen? Go ahead, go ahead.
he likes to use huge ass words, so like to make him sound like he's like some fucking scientist.
No, but it's actually wrong. He's saying incorrect stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
but
you
to the
should know.
normal person, to the normal average person that doesn't like know this stuff, they're gonna be like, "Wow, this guy knows so much," and they're gonna hire him. It's all fucking marketing bullshit.
Yeah, I can't. I think it was estrogen. He was asked by Fuad, if you have higher estrogen levels, can this change the way you store body fat? Which it absolutely can. I'm sure you know, Boston. If you have
Yeah,
high estrogen levels, you store the way a woman stores body fat
of
around
course.
your ass and these kind of things.
Hips.
He was not sure. He didn't know. Which,
Wow.
if you don't know that, what do you know? Because you're studying hormones. And sorry, my dogs are a bit excited. My wife just left the house, and you have 4 dogs, huh?
4 of them, yeah.
How do you? What kind? So you have a pit bull? I know about that one.
3 pit bulls.
Wow.
Lab.
Oh, well, they're very sad. My dogs get very depressed when my wife leaves. But how do you keep the all the dogs in your place? How big is your place?
It's like 3,000 square feet if you include the lanai. Pretty big backyard. You get a lot of property out here in Spring Hill for like cheap, dude. Like my house was fucking cheap as fuck.
Yeah, me and
I
Lucie.
couldn't afford a house.
Huh?
I couldn't afford a house where you live over in Cali, but you pay literally 1/5 over here.
Yeah, here it's ridiculous. That not just the house, but the income tax and all that kind of
Income
stuff.
tax, house tax, you get fucked in all angles over there.
That's true. That's true. But I was gonna ask you also about so okay. So I got your idea.
Have we started recording?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just thought that now I just started recording with an unofficial introduction. I was going to ask you also about the California Pro, which was in Vegas, which Antoine. What is with the lighting there? Is that normal stuff?
Horrible. They didn't even try. It looked like.
Why would you shoot lighting from the bottom up? That doesn't make any sense to me.
It washed everyone out. It looked terrible. And then they charged people like $19 for a live feed, and everyone was pissed because they couldn't see anything.
I know, but you can't even decide who was the best in the show because all the pictures have this crazy lighting from the bottom.
We need to start doing what the PCA does with their lighting. Have you ever seen the PCA shows?
No.
They're like the lighting's amazing, dude.
So who do you think is going to win the Chicago that's coming up next?
That's a hard one, man, but I think that Justin LR for sure.
That's the guy he was in Florida as well.
That's the guy that got second.
Yeah. So what about what's his name? I wrote it down. Nick Walker, who was going to be Mr. Olympia in 2 years.
Yeah, no, that's not happening. That's not happening. He's not going to do as well as he thinks. I mean, he sent me a message after North Americans to squash the beef. He's a nice kid. I have nothing wrong.
You had a beef with him?
Well, I just used to troll him a lot.
Okay.
He never trolled me or anything. I used to just troll him, but kind of feel bad a little bit. But not feel bad. I had the right. Meaning I wasn't pointing out bullshit. I was pointing out facts. And he probably knew that, but yeah, he seems like a nice kid, dude. Like he's just a little bit out there, meaning his expectations are a little skewed. He has a coach that blows his head up a little bit, but he's not going to do as well as he thinks at Chicago. His structure, he looks great from the back, and he's a fucking freak. He has a ton of muscle, but he's just going to get exposed by guys with better structures.
He really is a freak. It's incredible. But he can't. I don't know if I should go tell my dogs to be quiet. They're really going crazy. But
I can't even hear him.
Oh, you can't hear them? Okay, good. Then okay. So sorry for the interruption. But the thing about him is his waist is not like, it doesn't seem to be fat. It's like muscle, and it's on the side. You can't get around that. I don't know how you could.
The problem with him, man, is he's only 5'6". So when he's up against a 5'9" bodybuilder that has better shape, it's going to be hard for him. Like he almost got beat at North Americans, but the guy who took second, your best friend Amin trained him, and Amin obviously can't fucking peak a bodybuilder if it saved his life. But if the guy was actually in shape, he would have killed Nick. But obviously, Amin had to load him on milk or whatever the fuck they did.
What did you say? Okay. All right.
Milk, Lasix, and spaghetti.
No, the Lasix for sure. Injectable Lasix. I know nothing about this dehydration stuff, so I get really confused. Like Ian, I watched his interview after his second showing in Florida, and he was like, "We just did nothing this time. We didn't take a diuretic. We didn't do anything for 1 week. I just stayed the same and went into the show." It doesn't make sense to me if
It
somebody.
looked like that because he wasn't shredded.
It doesn't make sense to me though. If somebody's got to take a diuretic and another guy doesn't, and one guy removes salt and one guy doesn't remove salt, these are huge differences.
Yeah.
There must be a right way to do this, but I have no idea.
Remember, dude, if you're shredded, like on the diet, you could do that shit. You can keep the sodium in, keep the water in, and you're still gonna look fucking fantastic because you did your homework. Now, if you're 95% and you still have a little fat on you, but you're in great shape and you do remove sodium and you do, take a diuretic and you do a proper carb up, it can make you like 5 to 10% better. You know what I mean? So it just depends where you're at as a client.
How do you think Fuad could do at Chicago if he competes there? He's
horrible.
You know about this? He's trying to compete for the last time.
Yeah, but doesn't he know? I think he knows that it's just like his last show,
Yeah, it's supposed to be his last show, but he says he might not go. It depends on how he looks. He doesn't want to do a bad show.
That he has Palumboism. Like, you remember when you and Amin were doing that video? His waist is getting bigger. His arms are getting smaller. I mean, I've seen photos. It just doesn't look good.
Yeah, but I watched some of his
stuff. I'll be honest with you. I really do think bodybuilding, you can't have distractions if you want to be your best. And he's doing his podcast like 3 times a week, which is great. I mean, he has a lot of viewers on there. People seem to love his stuff, and he's doing that, which is awesome because I guarantee you the guy is making a killing financially right now with his new supplement line. I'm sure he's making 5 times the amount he was when he was just bodybuilding. But saying that, you could put so much energy into something, and it's going to take away from your bodybuilding. I could tell you that firsthand, man.
Well, I think the reason he's doing it probably is like a promotional thing for the channel and everything, to see him go up to the competition.
Yeah, but dude, why would that help him if he gets on stage and looks all-time worst? You know what I mean?
Which is probably why he's thinking of not doing it.
Yeah.
But you know what? I watched some of his videos. He seems like a nice guy, actually. He seems like
I think nice guy. Better. He used to be like a complete jerk-off meathead, but I think he's starting to loosen up a little bit as he gets older.
Yeah, that's what I noticed. Yeah, so I'm a bit fond of him now.
Yeah.
So, okay, before we get into your stuff, we have a lot to discuss. So for the viewers that are listening to this, Bostin and I have been texting for like a couple of weeks.
Dude, you're gonna laugh. You don't even know what I'm gonna tell you right now. You're just gonna be like,
okay, why don't we get started? So what's the update first of all?
Right, so last time I talked to you, I was all excited because my blood pressure went down. You remember?
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know if you remember, but I told you months ago I tried Ramipril at the lowest dose twice a day.
Yeah.
2.5 mgs twice a day or 5 mgs twice a day, whatever Dave Palumbo recommended. And dude, I felt like fucking shit, dude. Literally, and for everyone watching, it's a Ramipril is an ACE inhibitor. That's usually the first thing doctors prescribe bodybuilders is either the Ramipril or the Lisinopril. That's what I've heard.
In the 1980s, yeah. When Dave
even now, dude, my thyroid doctor wanted to prescribe me Ramipril. They go to that right away, but so Dave Palumbo recommended the Ramipril. So I tried that and I felt like shit. And I'm like, Dave, this stuff makes me feel like shit. I'm getting the cold shivers. And everyone doesn't really get side effects on this. They're like, you shouldn't really get side effects. This and that. And Dave's like, no, it can't be from that. And I'm like, whatever. So I kept taking it, kept feeling like shit. Then I came off of it and I felt great. And I'm like, fuck, I'll never take that again. Then I took Antinol. And Antinol is a beta blocker.
Atenolol, just for people to know. Beta blocker, yeah.
It's a beta blocker, and it barely touched my blood pressure, honestly.
Yeah.
By itself, in combination with an ACE inhibitor, it helps a little bit. But by itself, all it did was make me really tired, and it dropped my resting heart rate, and it wouldn't really let my heart rate go, above 115.
True.
But as far as blood pressure, it didn't do much.
Yeah, true.
So anyways, I get on, I'm like, you know what? My blood pressure, my dad keeps pressuring me to get on blood pressure meds. So I get Lisinopril in, which is also an ACE inhibitor, guys. But I think more doctors like to go to lisinopril for whatever reason. But it's the same drug, basically same thing, same side effects. So at first I combine it with hydrochloric thiazide because a lot of these people combine these ACE inhibitors with hydrochloric thiazide because the ACE inhibitors can cause high potassium in the body. So I was taking 6.25 hydrochloric thiazide with 5 mgs of the Ramipril, but I would do the Ramipril twice a day, 5 mgs twice a day. And this is after talking to like actual doctors. They said, try the Ramipril, start low, this and that. So I was taking it with the hydrochloric thiazide, and I was feeling fine. I felt great, and I even texted you. I said, I feel really good, but it's probably from the hydrochloric thiazide because I looked good and I flushed out. But after about 3 days on the hydrochloric thiazide, I was like so like dehydrated. My joints were hurting. I was like cramping. I'm like, I got to get off the diuretics. And I talked to Dave. He's like, get off that shit. You don't need it. And it was really like drying me out, and it drained me. Like the first couple days, it's fine. But once it like stayed in my system and I kept excreting, and I was only taking 6.25 mgs a day, I was excreting, right? So then I just started taking the lisinopril by itself. So this is when it gets bad. I have never, dude, I got up to like, I was 260 lean, feeling good about myself, getting like 5-6 meals in a day. And all of a sudden, dude, I get the cold shivers again. I feel like shit. I can't eat. I'm burping. I have hiccups all day long. Like literally all fucking day, I have aggressive hiccups. I'm looking online, like, what can this be from? It's like a side effect, but a less common side effect. You know what I mean? It's like listed, but it's at the bottom. So this is not a joke, man. I puked for the whole day, one day. Stomach bile, nothing. And I couldn't eat anything for like 3 days or I was going to keep puking. My mom's show was on a Saturday. I woke up and I puked everywhere, just stomach bile everywhere. It was just pure stomach bile in my toilet, and I still made it to my mom's show. I felt like shit. Cold shivers, terrible. So I checked my blood pressure. I was checking it this whole time. So usually like my blood pressure is like 155 over like 95. It came down to 145 over 75 with the blood pressure meds. Now I'm back up to like 155 over like 85. So I was puking all day long, and I was gonna keep taking it. So I said, I'm gonna let this play out. Maybe my body's adjusting. I'm gonna keep this going.
Is this when you texted me and you said you just puked out one of them, and should you take another half, or you take another?
Yeah. So then I fucking puked like before my mom's show, and I said, all right, if I feel this shitty tomorrow. So I took like 36 hours off of the blood pressure meds, all of it. By the end of the 36 hours, I was feeling good again. It's like, oh, the hiccup stopped, the indigestion, I got my appetite back. But then I'm like, all right, I have to make sure it's the blood pressure meds that are making me feel like shit. So I took another half lisinopril, which is 5 mgs, immediately in my bed, like fucking shivering and shit within an hour. Puked everywhere again. I said, fuck those meds. They're the fucking devil. Like, seriously, like, fuck those meds, dude. I'm never going to take that shit again, ever. And I would stay on the beta blocker, but it doesn't even fucking help my heart rate. It's just probably going to keep me fat because it doesn't.
No, that's true.
So I'm not going to take the beta blocker. And honestly, dude, and I haven't been on any drugs for 5 days. I feel, even with the blood pressure at 155 over like 85, I still feel good right now.
Okay, so
I mean, what's this stuff called? Losartan? And then the one that you like is Val. The one that you like is Val. What?
Valsartan and telmisartan.
Yeah.
Fuad is on azilsartan. So look, this is, you really befuddled me. Actually, you mentioned this to me on text before, the shivering, and I forgot about it. And today, ahead of our call, I was like, should I check anything out before to speak to him? And I did. I forgot about that. I didn't do anything, and I should have tried to understand it, because when you first texted me about it, I thought it was your thyroid. I thought this must be somehow your metabolism.
Oh, yeah, I got real cold.
Yeah, you got cold. So your metabolism is somehow slowing down. Now, I don't know exactly how the mechanism that angiotensin can do that. First of all, let me convince you of one thing, right?
Oh, by the way, I'm not cold anymore. I feel fine.
Yeah, I would understand if the beta blocker made you cold. What I'm confused
Hey,
about.
it could have been. It could have been because I'm off that now too.
No, but were you on the beta blocker till the end while you were cold?
Yes, 12.5 mgs, just 12.5.
Of the atenolol.
Yes.
Well, that's quite a low dose, but still, the beta blocker could definitely make you cold. There's no question
Yeah,
about
I
it.
know for a fact though the cold shivers and the puking was not the Entenolol though. That was the lisinopril.
So look, there's a couple of. I mean, I don't know how the mechanism is that it's possible that ACE inhibition could cause someone to be cold. But let's just establish one thing, right? Side effects from drugs mainly, like some of them are genetic and they're complicated, but mainly they usually come over the metabolism of a drug. So all of us have different enzymes in our bodies. Some are high functioning, some people are low functioning. So one guy can take tren and he can't sleep for a week.
Yeah.
I can take it, I can sleep fine because the enzyme I use for tren or whatever, the group of enzymes, they're fast functioning. I'm usually like that. My wife is the opposite. If you have a slow metabolism for a certain kind of drug, two things will happen. Number one, the drug will be more effective for you. It'll shoot down your blood pressure, and you'll get way more side effects than other people. That could be one thing. But the exact cause for the shivering, I have no idea. The throwing up, on the other hand, could be exactly this: slow metabolism. Your body can't get rid of it very well, and it knows that it has too much in the system already, so it makes you throw up. That could be it. But everything else you describe in terms of nausea and those kind of stuff, and to me, indicate really bad liver function. So I don't know.
No, no, I think maybe kidney.
The kidney could also do that, actually. Yes.
My liver's never been high really. It's the kidneys.
Another thing you
How
mentioned.
about this? How about this? Can hyper one of the side effects of lisinopril is high potassium. Maybe I was having that because remember, I felt fine when I was on the hydrochloric thiazide besides the cramping. When I came off the hydrochloric thiazide and I continued to take the lisinopril is when I felt like shit. Maybe my potassium in my body got high.
It could be, but you're also salting your food, so it should have stabilized itself. I don't know. But one other thing you mentioned, I heard you mention this in the blues episode, which is that you're saying as you get older, your blood pressure just gets higher. One of the reasons that happens, by the way, is if the kidney is not functioning well. As the kidney stops functioning as well, the blood pressure starts really creeping up. My blood pressure was high naturally.
I think that's exactly what it is. I think it's a kidney issue because around that time I was feeling kidney aches.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I felt my kidneys for sure, dude.
Okay.
I told you that before.
No, I don't remember you telling me that.
I told you before when I abused orals.
Yeah.
And I got off. I was sleeping all day and my kidneys were throbbing. I told you that way before.
Oh, yeah, I remember. Okay. Well, listen. The first thing is this. I know Dave. By the way, before you texted me about all of this, I randomly emailed Dave and I was like, Dave, you got to stop telling people to use ACE inhibitors. He was like, why? I was like, listen, these things are ancient medications. So basically, like, I'm not going to get into the details of it, but think of it this way. ACE turns one molecule into another. The second molecule, which is called angiotensin 2, is what causes a lot of the blood pressure spiking, okay? Angiotensin 2, you can either stop it from existing by cutting off ACE, or you can stop it from signaling at one of the two receptors it signals at. You don't need to stop both receptors. So if you cut out angiotensin 2, you block out both receptors, you get some more side effects. What I do is I block the receptor, and it's called AT1, that angiotensin 2 signals are on. That's what valsartan does. We just block that receptor so it can still...
You're saying ARB.
Yeah, so it can still signal at the other one. The other one is really important because it affects kidney health. For example, losartan.
I think that's what it is. I think that fucking lisinopril and the ramipril, I think they're hard on the liver. I mean, my bad. I think they're hard on the kidneys.
Some of these medications do, for people that have impaired kidneys, can damage their kidneys. That's true.
What I'm saying. If you're already fucked up from steroid use, I think you could fuck it up even worse.
It's in the literature. I've read of people that have chronic kidney, because one of the biggest topics of research is people who have chronic kidney disease, how to manage their blood pressure, because it gets worse because of the kidney disease, but then you don't want the kidney to get strained as well if they're not on that.
It all stems from steroid use because I've been off steroids for 5 days now. The kidney throbbing stopped. I feel great. My appetite's back. I can eat. I can keep eating and not throw up. Like I have no nausea. So
But let's be clear about one thing. This second receptor that we still want signaling over, if you take an ARB, angiotensin is still there to signal at that receptor. And that receptor, for some reason, signaling there seems to improve kidney function in a lot of people. So losartan has improved kidney function repeatedly. There's many studies showing that happening. This never happens for ACE inhibitors.
And you probably don't have to combine those with the diuretic.
Well, the reason people combine it with a diuretic is because, so it's complicated, but basically managing angiotensin also affects the mineral corticoid receptors. Those are the same receptors that some steroids make you hold water weight with. They make you hold, for example, sodium or water or things like that. Sometimes people are relaxing the blood vessels, but they're not getting enough of that, like not holding as much sodium. So they take a diuretic as well to get rid of that, to get rid of some of the water on top of it. You know, I told you it might be like, I used it sometimes when I was very bloated from growth hormone or something, because nothing's going to get rid of it except a diuretic if you're on a lot of growth hormone. But I also, like you, I don't feel it's really safe to do long term, because you might end up dehydrated and not know it.
Yeah, I was getting cramps and stuff, yeah.
In which case you'll hurt your kidneys even more. But the problem is this: if you don't lower your blood pressure, your kidneys, they have little blood vessels. These blood vessels pop and the kidney starts losing function quickly. So you have to get it under control. I mean, I wish I thought of this before we were talking, so I could really have tried to figure out, why are you shit?
Like, honestly, if I get my blood pressure in 155 over 85, I'd be happy, man.
Yeah, at least that's not in a severe. Yeah. So, by the way, another thing that happens with blood pressure, which I've never mentioned on my channel, is that when your blood pressure is high, your blood vessels get like damage on the inside, and this damage gets filled with plaques. LDL cholesterol plaques. That's what Dallas had, a lot of blockage in his arteries. So the longer you have this, the blood vessel stretching, it starts to get damaged and plaques start to be put in there. Other than the fact that the heart has to pump really hard to get.
I wonder what his blood pressure was. I bet he was higher than mine.
Yeah, not only that, I think that he may have had a genetic abnormality that made him produce more cholesterol than normal people. There's one specific abnormality. It's called ApoE4. If you have that, it's really fast to develop, this kind of. What is your cholesterol like, by the way? Do you remember?
I can't tell you, because don't you need to go unfasted for that?
No.
Then it's terrible.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
It's terrible. All my blood work is terrible.
It's just terrible.
I figured my lipids and my cholesterol were terrible because I thought you needed to fast like 12 hours.
No, they tell you to, but you don't. It only affects the triglycerides.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, everything's terrible, so you know.
Listen, Bostin, this is the thing. You love steroids, but you don't like other drugs. I don't understand.
Leo, I have actually had a couple clients that are all worried about cholesterol, right? So I have them come off the gear, right? Or come down to like a TRT for like 12 weeks or whatever. And then their fucking cholesterol's perfect, right?
Yeah, but it could be perfect on gear too.
I've never seen.
All you have to do is take a statin.
I've never seen anyone with perfect cholesterol on gear. But anyways, then they get back on gear and it fucking goes right back to shit. So it's like, what's the point? You know what I mean?
Okay, but this is the thing. You're a person that, like me, you love pharmacology, you love how things can change your body, but you reject anything that can change your body for health. So you're like, this group of drugs, you know what? There's no benefit, so I'm not interested. So you won't listen to even me pitching you.
Let me tell you this. I didn't take the fucking. People would be like, "Oh, Bostin's looking out for his health, like he's taking blood pressure meds," and it wasn't for health. It was because I thought it was gonna make me feel better.
I know, that's the thing.
It's because I didn't want to fucking, you know what I mean? It's because I didn't want to be feeling like shit, nauseous. So I was like, hey, this might help. But as far as health reasons, I didn't fucking think about that shit.
By the way, the nausea, I don't think was coming from the hypertension. That's either a kidney or liver thing. Yeah, I think it's a kidney or a liver thing.
It's definitely not liver, dude. My livers are fine. I just got blood work done.
You know, that's the thing. Sometimes people have liver tumors and their ALT and AST are normal. So a lot, actually, we just
if it wouldn't show up on blood work, possible.
Yeah, no. There's a guy on my channel who has liver cancer right now after running Trend for 5 years or 4 years straight, and he never had elevated liver values. Not much elevated, like very little.
But he would get sick.
He said he felt nauseous sometimes. I was like, wow, that's how I felt too. I just ignored it. I would feel nauseous,
So you think since I come off the gear for 5 days and I feel great, it's probably a liver thing and not a kidney thing?
Um, it could be both, but I think it's a liver thing. Liver really makes people nauseous.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, that's like a hardcore. When your liver is very stressed, that's just what happens. You get sleepy. You don't want to move around much.
Yeah, so maybe it's a liver thing then.
I hope so. But the thing is,
dude, I'll tell you what. Spent so much money the last 2 months on Amazon with hawthorn berry, fucking saw palmetto.
Wait.
Dude, they don't do fucking shit, dude.
No. But if you combine, not for maybe the kidney, but for the liver, if you combine a bunch of stuff together, but it costs so much money. It'll cost more than your gear.
Liver 52.
That's a bullshit product.
Shit, man. I'm not going to do it again.
That does make a big difference.
I feel like it makes me more nauseous swallowing 20 health pills a day.
It does. Like the CVS pill bottle that's like this big. Yeah. I take a whole one 3 times a day, filled with supplements. it's really horrible.
You're like a natural supplement junkie.
Yeah, I've continued my PED obsession into natural life. And so I do it in whatever kind of way I can. But listen, this is
you're like what Tony Huge does, but he does it like SARMs.
Yeah, I do it with brain stuff and sleeping and like weird, not exciting things. But the point is, listen, so first of all, just so you know, beta blockers have the most side effects in terms of how you feel, energy-wise and other stuff.
Dude, terrible.
And they reduce blood pressure the least. So that's not the thing that I know. If you're worried about side effects, that's not the place you start. You talked to me before about calcium channel blockers. You have to understand, calcium is a messenger system in the body. If you block calcium channels, you get all kinds of side effects. So those always have more side effects than ACE and ARBs. So put that out of the way as well. I forgot which one you asked me about, but you asked me about it.
Oh, yeah. I'm not
it's
sure.
Basically a choice between ACE and ARBs. And the reality is you just have to work up to it. In my opinion, there's no reason to use an ACE if you can take an ARB. And there's like 3 ARBs that are valuable: losartan, valsartan, and telmisartan. And I know you don't want to take, but you got
propranolol.
Propranolol. That's going to give you the biggest side effects in terms of being tired, because that crosses the blood-brain barrier very well, so it blocks your adrenaline signaling in the brain.
Ooh.
Which is why I use it, and snipers use it, and public speakers use it, because sometimes I get a little bit nervous. Actually, my case is because I was born with a hand tremor. So if I get a little bit nervous, my hand starts to shake. So I take it, and it just totally prevents that.
That's good for like anxiety.
It is very effective for that. Very effective. And if you're on like Trenbolone and you can't sleep well, you take it like twice a day. It really improves your function. But the point is, ignore all that stuff. You got to select like an ARB and just go, start with a low dose and slowly.
Yeah, I'm not going to try anything for a while, but
just refuse. You can't refuse. You got to take
Jackson
and your wife.
I've never thrown up that much fucking bile. Like literally, dude, all day I was throwing up. I had my little kid's little bucket, his Halloween candy bucket, and I was just puking in that all day.
Did this happen to you with the other ACE inhibitor you used first? Did you throw up also?
Ramipril, I didn't throw up, but I was in bed, cold shivers.
And when you took an ARB, you took valsartan, right?
Never tried any of those. I've never tried any of those.
Oh, okay. You need to try the least side effect one, which is valsartan, and try. I'm not a doctor, by the way. Nobody sue me or anything. But I'm saying like, try with like 20 milligrams. Get the 60 milligram tablet, and just cut it into thirds and try one.
It'll be the next one I try if I need to, but I ain't trying shit for a long time.
You know what? I think Ariella needs to realize how serious this is and join forces with me, and we can like peer pressure you into some.
Never.
Does she worry at all? Does she talk to you about it?
I'm sure she does, but we don't talk about it. She knows not to go there with me. That's one thing, dude, is like I'm like a perfect like husband in that way. Like I don't tell her what to do, and she ain't telling me what to do.
Yeah, just don't ask about my blood pressure. That's all.
But dude, if it starts affecting, like if I start puking all day long, like and my kid's there, and like it just and he's older, and like then I'll be like, wow, I just need to stop bodybuilding.
Well, the problem is that, look, this is what happens. Just so you know, once your kidneys give out, you go on dialysis. Once you go on dialysis, if you do not get a donor really quickly, your heart will give up and you'll get heart failure.
Would you say kidney failure though is a lot of it's genetic too? Like you have to have a lot of it in the gene pool too?
Let me put it to you this way. Most of the 60-year-olds in the US have 40% function of their kidneys.
Are you talking about bodybuilders or in general?
Everybody. So as you get older, your kidneys just keep deteriorating. So if you have had high blood pressure or something like that, you're gonna be younger when you need a kidney replacement. Yeah. Everybody will eventually need one. Like 80-year-olds, 90-year-olds, they all have very bad kidneys. But if yours starts being bad when you're young, then you have to go on immunosuppressive medications and you suppress your immune system. You could get cancer later. You could get an infectious disease, die from the flu. You can.
The liver's up here, right?
Yeah, the liver's like right below your ribs in the middle.
Yeah, I've never had any liver pain.
You know, I've actually had kidney pain before. It's scary.
I've had the kidney pain, but just not the liver pain.
The liver pain is even scarier because when you have liver pain, that means you have an acute, serious liver injury. Usually,
I've never had that.
I've actually had liver pain too. Don't worry. I've done a bunch of crazy stuff, not to do with bodybuilding. But
hey, you know what Scott Mendelsohn's blood pressure is at?
Scott's blood pressure is fine.
Really? Like because he takes meds?
Yeah, he takes something. I can't remember what it was, but I talked to him about it a lot. Scott does not care. Scott is like...
He doesn't look like he has good blood pressure.
No, but he does not. Oh, you should see him on competition days. He comes in blue. His face is blue. He can't even talk. He's so intense. I never met anyone like that in my life. But Scott doesn't care if he dies young. Like when Rich died, by the way, Rich is his close friend from a long time ago. And when Rich died, I asked him, like, do you feel like it was a shame? So he said he knew he was living that kind of life and he wanted to go that way. And most of us are. So I've tried to convince Scott. Scott's like, I don't care. He does whatever he wants to do.
He doesn't have any kids, does he?
He has 2 kids.
Oh, he does.
Yeah, his kids.
Does he have a wife?
I think he's divorced or separated.
Okay.
Well, Scott's a great guy, but Scott's like that.
I met him. Yeah.
You met him too?
Of course, Scott Mendelsohn.
Did you go to his gym and Mendy's gym? And
dude, he trained at my dad's gym a couple times.
No way.
He knows my dad and everything. Yeah.
He's a character, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, but so anyway, the point is, listen, okay. So I was originally.
He walks so uncomfortably
because he broke his ankle really badly, and his foot doesn't go straight. It's like this on the side. So
yeah, I saw him at Gold's Venice. I think at me and Ariella's show when we did our couples routine there in 2013, and he was like wobbling around.
Yeah, he has to limp a little bit, but he can still squat like 600-700 pounds with the ankle messed up. Yeah, he's very strong. He's ridiculous. But the point is, when you were coming on here today, I thought I'm going to get great news. His blood pressure is 150. He's been working. And then I was thinking I'm going to convince you to switch to an ARB, even though you told me not to try to convince you. But this is a serious situation.
Oh, no. I may try that later down the road, but for now, I'm taking a rest.
But, it's so rare for – you know what you could do if you really want to be crazy? Go take. I mean, you could. I'm not telling you to do this, but you could take an ARB, and if you feel cold, take Clen. You'll raise your blood. You'll raise your adrenaline system.
More drugs to counteract. That's the problem to me. It's like I should probably just lower the steroids. I'd probably be my best advice, huh?
If you could lower, you're not going to do that.
What do you think, man? Do you think going from a gram of testosterone to 2 grams is going to bring your blood pressure up way more?
Yeah.
Really?
For me, it depends how much you're using of an aromatase inhibitor, but for me, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you're saying just on water retention alone?
Yeah, just on the water retention, but also mentally because it signals more adrenaline signaling, like clenbuterol does. So I don't know. I wish I could convince you. I don't want to offend you. I might try to send a message to Ariella without offending you. I hope you don't get offended.
She's not gonna do anything.
Well, we gotta convince you anyway. So yeah, you got to do something about it. Look, if you stay at this level, by 35 you're gonna have no kidneys.
You're saying even blood pressure at 155?
No, not at 155, but like 180.
Oh yeah, dude. If I'm up there, I'll have to do something. I've been monitoring. I'm 150 to about 85 now.
150 to 185?
No, 150 over 85.
Oh, without the medication?
Yes, without it.
Oh, that's not that bad.
Yeah.
That's not that bad. You know
When
what?
I'm on crazy trend, it goes like to 160, you know?
Oh, that's all? It's not at 180 or 200.
That's when I was fucking taking too many stimulants. When I
Oh,
took the Adderall.
that's not so bad. Okay,
Yeah.
that's not that bad. Listen, you know what you should try to do then if you're not going to do anything else? In Florida, are the saunas open in the gym?
Of course.
Okay, go to a Finnish sauna, which is basically like not a human, not a steam sauna, a real sauna.
You're
Where they
talking
have,
about the ones at the recreational clubs.
yeah, well, they have them in the gyms too here. They
Not,
have them at LA Fitness.
not a steam room, but a dry sauna.
Yeah, exactly. A dry sauna with the rocks and all that stuff.
Yeah.
If you go in there 20 minutes a day, like even after your workout, 4 or 5 days a week, you'll see your blood pressure really shoot down. It happened to me too.
Post workout would be probably best for me if I could do that.
If you could do it post workout, I know sounds like it's not
Dude,
gonna.
I'm going to there's a gym opening up 25 minutes. I've already signed up. They're opening up next week. It's called the Crunch Gym. Crunch, you've heard of them?
Yeah, no.
They have saunas.
So LA Fitness does in LA. I mean,
They have them here, yeah.
So listen, if you just go in 20 minutes, and the first thing you do, like for me, I had to stay like 5 minutes. I overheated. I was staying far away from the rocks. Over time, you move up on the seats and get closer to the rocks and stay 20 minutes or so. You'll be shocked how much your blood pressure will reduce. But while you're in there, your blood pressure will go up and your heart rate will go up. But in over like 2 months or so, you might lose 20 on the scale. Like you might go from 155 to 135. I'm not joking. It's so because like a lot of things happen.
It's a natural diuretic. You're not.
No, it's not even that. It's not just. I see what you mean, which is why
you are losing water though.
You got to drink water throughout, otherwise your kidneys can get really in a bad position because of a bunch of things actually. But it's not just that; it makes your like blood vessels elastic, so it makes them like able to expand and close more, and it deals with a lot of inflammation in the body, which I don't know how.
I like this on. It's just you get a lot of creepy old men in there, you know.
You get a lot of weird people like over talking in a small.
Yeah, just like in there, have their dicks out and shit.
Yes. What? That's so funny that you say that.
In the sauna, there was an old guy. It's always the older guys. They don't give a fuck, and their fucking their saggy balls are all everywhere.
I had an incident in the valley.
Care, dude.
I was in a sauna in the valley. I used to go to the sauna every day. And this guy would just come in with a towel. He'd walk in like in the changing room. He was wearing a towel. I don't know, but he walked in the sauna. He would just open the towel.
Yeah.
It's a small room, 8 people, 6 people. He would open the towel, come sit down, and spread his legs open.
And then they talk.
And he talks in Persian. He's Persian, and there was another Persian. You know, in LA, there's a lot of Persian.
Which gym in the valley you used to train at?
I wasn't training. I was using the sauna, but it was an LA Fitness on I forgot what street it is, but it's
Devonshire. No, Devonshire and Reseda. No,
it's near. I forgot the street. I'll text it to you later. My wife knows.
There's a gym in Oxnard over there that's open.
So listen, no, now I live in Irvine. I'm safe, far away from this kind of. But so the point is, this guy would be sitting there. So one day I just couldn't handle it. I was like listening to some podcast, and I was like, listen, man, your balls are just. There's no need for this. And there was like 8 people in the room and nobody expected it. I was like, this is ridiculous. This is unacceptable. He said, what do you mean? Why is it bothering you? I said, because I don't want to see someone's dick this is not my goal. I'm here to relax and meditate. I don't want to see your dick. And I'm like, what do you need your dick out anyway for? What does it do for you? We're here for our health.
How would he told you it reduces blood pressure?
He's gonna tell me so. His Persian friend was also arguing with it back. He's like, "Why are you bothering this guy? He's an old man." I said, "It's okay. I don't mean to bother him. I'm being respectful, but I really don't want to see his dick." They're like, "This is in the rules of LA Fitness. We're allowed to do this." I was like, "That is absolutely not true. You're lying. There's no way.
No way.
We're not in Finland. This is the U.S. We don't like to see these kind of things in the sauna." So anyway, they went to complain after, and the receptionist said, "You're not allowed to take your dick out in the sauna. What are you doing?" But I don't understand. Why do people do that? Why are people not conscious of that?
There's always that thing that happens. Every time I just walk in there, I end up walking out pretty quick because there's always the guy that's in there just fucking with his dick out.
Usually what it is in the locker room is usually you walk through to go to the sauna, and you turn to your left briefly, and there's some guy bending over, and his balls are hanging. He's like 80
Yeah.
years old. This, I don't know why this always happens. I promised myself that when I become an old man, I'm still gonna wear clothing in the locker room.
I used to go into the sauna at the Powerhouse in Chatsworth when I lived down there, and there'd always be idiots in there doing like crunches and shit, thinking they were gonna like burn fat.
Yeah, doing like standing in space jumping. Yeah.
Dude, this is a fucked up story. Me and my friends used to piss in the coal. We would clear out the whole gym, dude. Everyone would leave. And everyone would be like, "Oh, what the fuck's that smell?" And we would clear the whole gym out, dude.
It sounds only a little bit worse than what they do here, which is they take some kind of like weird perfume and pour it on the coal, and then you're inhaling this kind of horrible perfume, which by the way also leads me to arguments in the sauna. I have to keep talking.
Oh, you're talking about incense.
Yeah, but the worst incense. I don't know where they get it from. Ridiculous stuff. Anyway, these are sauna stories, but you got to go to the sauna. Seriously, it's going to help. And I'm going to try to convince you over text about the ARBs slightly more.
If my blood pressure goes up on like Tren or something, I'll definitely do it.
No, but you know what you should aim for is to have it like 130 or 125. And the difference between 150 and 125.
Yeah, I would have never even got there with an ACE inhibitor.
Yeah, but
maybe at a high dose.
By the way, that doesn't make sense also. So you're telling me now you're at 155, but with an ACE.
It only dropped at 10 points.
That's not much at all. Oh, but you were using a very low dose.
10 mgs?
Yeah, I know the max was 40 on that medication, I think, right?
People take anywhere from 10 to 80.
Yeah, that's a very low dose.
Well, shit, imagine how bad the side effects would be if I took more, though.
No, it may be something to do with the metabolism. And also, you really should. I wish I could convince you to try it, so like even 10 milligrams of Valsartan. I bet you have you won't notice it. And
if my blood pressure gets above what it is now, I'll try it.
All right, we agreed. Yeah. So this was a complete failure on my part. You have no medication for blood pressure. You're gonna keep it but it's much better than what I thought.
I'll just get rid of the ACE inhibitors.
Yeah, I mean, keep them. You hate
dude, that antenol, that makes you lazy, man.
Yeah, so for some people that have less adrenergic signaling, meaning less adrenaline in their brains, if you block the adrenaline, like how do you react from clenbuterol? Do you get anxious or anything like that?
Yeah, a little bit.
All right. So usually people who like a beta blocker will make them very lazy. They will be less sensitive to clenbuterol.
I'm definitely less sensitive, yes, but I mean I still feel it,
So the beta blocker is trying to block the beta 1 adrenaline receptor. Clenbuterol agonizes the beta 2 receptor. They're exact opposite things, but they're going on different receptors. But anyway, I hope I can convince you some other time to try the...
I'll try it. I mean, have you heard of anyone getting side effects on them?
No, I mean, but to be honest with you, I've never heard of anyone shivering from ACE inhibitors either. Yeah. So I'm at a loss. By the way, when you went to the doctors and you told them you were shivering, what did they say?
I didn't go to the doctors and tell them that.
No, huh? Listen, I failed you a little bit here. I'm going to research the shivering thing, and I'm going to try to come up with an idea.
Look up high potassium levels. That could have been that.
Yeah, I wonder.
I have had high potassium in the past on blood work. That's why.
And you always salt your food, huh?
Always.
How much magnesium do you take?
I don't supplement with magnesium.
Do you eat a lot of red meat?
Once a day.
Okay, we'll talk about it more later. So basically, for the viewers to know, this is our work in progress with Bostin Loyd caring about his health.
Dude,
because
I'm never going to get through to Dave, dude. He's so... Somebody would have to die on an ACE inhibitor for him to change his way.
Yeah. Which is weird because you know what? The major advantage of ARBs, the receptor blockers, is that they help there's a lot of evidence that they improve brain function. And Dave's father had dementia. So that's why I texted Dave. I was like, Dave, you're missing out you're blocking the A2 receptor for no reason. You need that receptor for your brain function. But he didn't reply to that email. He was like,
not going to reply. Hey, before you get off here, I'm going to read. Can you still see me?
Yeah.
let me see if it'll even let me right here. You can still see me, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, I had a client that went to a doctor, one of the best in the world for blood pressure. His blood pressure wasn't even that high. and he put him on all these blood pressure meds, and I want to see if you agree with it, okay?
Mm.
This will be interesting because it was like it's multiple. You're going to be like, what the fuck? And this is a guy that's blood pressure is not even that bad, dude.
Interesting. Did he try other things first, and then the doctor?
No, this is what he had him on, and he's not getting any side effects on it. He feels fine. Let's see.
Most people don't. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, so this is what he's on. Let me see. Oh, maybe this guy's not even on as much as I thought. He was on way more before. So is it possible that they start these kids off on a lot and then they reduce?
Yeah, if they have a chronic issue, especially if they're affecting diuretics, mainly the diuretic issue, or if they overreact.
Yeah, so I guess now he's just on lisinopril, but God, dude, in the beginning, like when I first started working with him, he was on 3 different ones or something. It was insane. I was like, geez, dude.
Basically, the reason they use multiple things is so that they don't have to max out on one, because usually when you max out on one drug, you get the most side effects from that one drug.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, like I said, yeah, I can't find it, but yeah, no, dude, this kid was on everything and anything, and I was like, I think one of them it was an ACE inhibitor. I think one was a ARB, and one was a beta blocker.
Oh, that's really weird to combine an ARB and an ACE inhibitor. Maybe it was taking a calcium channel blocker.
Maybe that's what it was.
By the way, what happened to the follistatin experiment?
Never tried it. No, it didn't get healthy enough.
You still have it though, huh?
Oh yeah, it's in the freezer.
So someone was telling me recently that they saw people have very good results from follistatin.
Oh, dude, I've used follistatin with really good results. Like the first time I ever used it, but this stuff is the vet grade stuff, so I don't know if there will be a difference from the peptides that I've used and the vet grade. But the first time I ever used the peptide stuff, I like blew up. People in the gym were like, "Dude, what the fuck?" I'm not kidding you. In 10 days, dude.
Really?
10 days, 10 pounds.
But does it like if you stay on it, does it go away?
It's just a 10-day cycle.
Oh, you have to keep it low?
Yeah.
By the way, why did you close down the SARM company that you used to have?
Oh, that was a long time ago. I never had a SARM company, though. It was a peptide company.
Peptides, yeah. But did these guys make a lot of money, I've discovered, even now?
I made a lot of money from that. Yeah, it was so good.
You think it's too risky?
Yeah, it was too risky. I wasn't willing to. My old partners got that I left that company because they were doing shady shit.
Mm.
My old partners got raided. They were in Torrance, California. I left that company in June of 2016. And I want to say they either got raided I think they got raided in 2018.
Wow. And Torrance is the worst place to get raided.
And I told my partner, I said, dude, it's not worth it. But dude, there's peptide companies that have been around since 2008, 2009 that are still going, have their real business address.
I know.
So talking to my lawyer, the main reason why these guys are getting popped is because they're not paying all their taxes, which my company always did. Not the one that got busted, but the 3CC research, we always did. And on top of that, they were doing shit like manufacturing it inside their facility. Now, when they do outsourcing and you're buying it from a manufacturer, they usually don't come after you. They come after the manufacturer. And that's why Enhanced Athlete got in trouble. But yeah, dude, I was making good money, but I talked to my partner. It just wasn't worth it.
Yeah, because I know a guy, he stopped producing because of a different reason. It wasn't related to his company, but he had it, I think, for 10 years or so. And this guy was making a crazy amount.
When I was with Transformix, they started off with 0 gross sales, 0. And they were doing close to 2 million gross a year after with 2 years of me promoting them.
But do you know how much we don't want to get into their profit margins, but I've heard of 2 people so far that own companies.
Well, right now, dude, I was just, they were paying me about $20,000 a month and I was 33% owner.
Wow. Yeah, yeah. Because I've
So,
been doing.
so we were profiting probably 60 at least, because I don't think they were giving me my full 33%.
That might be it. Because the other companies all have the
I
same number.
I blew them up, dude. They were the biggest. They were the biggest company, and I left them. I even made a video about it. But obviously my YouTube got taken down. I left them because they got shady, and all of a sudden we started getting bad reviews. And I reached out to them, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we're making it now, and we're saving $5 to $10 a bottle."
Oh.
What happened was the feds caught like a big raw shipment because they sent it to their fucking warehouse, dude. They got busted. They
Oh.
got started getting looking into, but they were making the shit in the fucking Torrance. And dude, the place was tiny too. It was like the size of my. It was like the size of my bedroom. My master. It was called Boss Sports Nutrition, and they were selling it, dude, and they were making it. So I was like, why is our reviews went from amazing to nothing? They're like, well, we're saving like $5 to $10 a bottle now. We're doing it all inside house. And, I didn't, dude. Honestly, at that time, I didn't really think about, oh, that's illegal. I was like, whatever. But But I left the company because we had bad reviews. They lied to me. They told me that I was 33% owner. They did like a fake e-signature,
Really?
fake everything. They were still writing me a check for $20,000 a month, 25,000 a month. But they were lying to me. So that's why I told you. I didn't even know if I was getting my 1/3. They were fucking probably taking way more. But anyways, they got busted, indictment. I was on the indictment because they listed me. They said BL. They didn't put my full name, but they put BL. And they said how much they were paying me. And that's when the IRS came after me because they weren't paying taxes. And then when they filed saying we were paying Bostin money to promote our shit because they were using me as tax write-offs, then they came after me.
Oh, whoa. But you were paying taxes? You were okay? Or you had to
No,
pay
I wasn't paying taxes.
taxes? So, wow, that's a nightmare.
No, but I'm saying legally, it was a blessing in disguise that I was never on the company.
True.
So all that said on the indictment was you paid BL this much on this month. You paid BL this month on this month. And it listed all the months because when they got busted for not doing their taxes, they said, well, we're using these as write-offs because we were paying Bostin. And that's a write-off when you pay like a sponsored athlete. So they use it as tax write-offs. So they're saying, well, he's not paying taxes on that. So then I got a bunch of fines from the IRS saying you owe a lot of money. And dude, I'm upfront about this stuff. Most people wouldn't even talk about this. I don't give a fuck. Hey, if I did something wrong, I was young and dumb, dude. I was making a lot of money from 20 to 24, 20 to 24. I was making fucking really good money, dude. Like, I don't make fucking shit anymore. And I'm a lot happy because I was getting sued left and right. I had a target on my back. I don't make jack shit anymore. I'm a lot happier. But like I said, man, I'm honest with it. I was making a lot of money. I was a fucking idiot. I had no idea what taxes were. Never even saw a tax person. Dude. But hey, thank God my house is paid off. All my cars are paid off, and we like I said, we don't have expensive cars, but we have no bills, dude. Like we could get away with a couple thousand a month because we have no bills. No debt.
That's what you want to be young and have everything paid off.
So I already made a lot of money in my younger days. I saved everything. I don't spend money. I already told you I don't spend money on drugs. So
definitely don't spend them on blood pressure drugs. That's for sure.
I actually fucking did spend on blood pressure drugs, but it's only like 5 cents a tab on All Day Chemist.
Yeah, it's great prices. I love that company.
Yeah. So yeah, dude, I'm honest about all that shit. I made a lot of mistakes, but I'm getting my tax situation situated. But hey, thank God I did save the money because if I didn't, they'd be going after my house and shit.
True, but the interesting thing is that, like you said, there are these companies that have been doing it for 10 years. They don't have any problems.
I think it's because they list their real address and they pay their taxes.
So it's a lot of money. Some of them are making $1.5 million a year.
And you know what it is, man? Is in the indictment, they didn't even really talk much about peptides. They go after the letrozole, the Nolvadex, and the Cialis because they're prescription drugs.
Exactly, prescription.
It's not necessarily the peptides. Nobody ever gets busted for like IGF because that's gray area. That's not even a scheduled drug. It's when the companies are selling that's what I tell you what they got busted for. DMZ, which is a pro-hormone.
Yeah.
Cialis, Nolvadex, Letrozole, Arimidex, all prescription.
Yeah, because those are regulated drugs in the U.S.
Yeah, just peptides nobody cares about.
Then there's so many more peptides to play with that people are not like, I don't know if you know this. There are a bunch of EPO peptides that don't thicken.
By the way, that FTTP is fucking legit.
You lost fat from it?
Oh, my waist came down huge and my diet wasn't even that good.
So it's where you injected? Something happened there?
I'm in shock.
So for the audience that doesn't know, I mean, I'm sure everybody heard about this, but this drug is basically, it kills cells. So it kills fat cells, but it could also kill other cells.
It's supposed to starve them to death, right?
Yeah. Well, it causes apoptosis. You can use it in like cancers or something like that. But wherever you injected it, you lost fat there or just generally?
My whole waistline. So I was doing it in my stomach, a lower back, and my chest. I was at the gym yesterday and I'm like, my chest is chiseled. Yeah, so it definitely works, dude.
What are you doing in your chest? You have fat on your chest?
I grab my titty fat and I shoot her with an insulin needle.
Oh, smart.
Like I just grab here. Like that.
I'm a little averse to using this, but it sounds really interesting. I would just want.
That's why my fucking kidneys are failing. No studies on it.
No, it's very poorly researched, and it's clearly dangerous. There's no question. It's killing stuff. Yeah. That's true.
It kills everything.
That's true. It probably goes into your bloodstream and starts killing random cells.
But I'll be honest, my diet wasn't clean. Like, it was clean, but I was having a little bit of too many cheat meals, and I lost a lot on my waist, man.
Really, huh? Okay.
I only tried it because a couple of my clients had used it at a way lower dose than I did. Like, because I spent like $600. Well, I used my credits. I didn't really pay for it. I used my credit that I accumulated, but I think it was like a $600 cycle, that stuff. My clients used like 1/4 the dose and got great results. So I was like, I'm just going to use a bottle a day for 30 days. I missed a couple days. I still have like 4 days left, but I took a massive amount.
If that works, it's really special because it would be like liposuction. Like, it gets rid of the fat cells.
Oh yeah. So I guess the true test to see is if it comes back.
Exactly. Because the interesting thing is that, whenever we lose weight, whenever we gain fat, we get new fat cells. It's just like if you're taking growth hormone, the cells split and they become more cells. But you can't get rid of these. So the fatter you've been in your life, the more fat you could potentially become.
And I don't know if you read on it. It's supposed to help way after your last injection.
Yeah, it's very mysterious. I tried to look at research reports and there are very few about it. But people
supposedly you're supposed to continue to get leaner, so we'll see.
Yeah, people have been messaging me about it. Oh, okay. The last question I was going to ask you is, what about your comeback? When is this going to happen since you're planning to have a kid?
Dude, so I don't even want to talk too much about this now, but October 1st I start.
Are you serious?
Yeah, October 1st.
You're not gonna push it back, so we can all get excited.
October 1st I start my comeback.
This is amazing news. I'm very excited to see what'll happen.
But if a week later my kidneys shut down, it's over.
Okay, you've got to start the prep with blood pressure.
Hey, it's October 1st, but don't get too excited, guys, because if I shut down, I'm
all right, man. It's nice.
All or nothing, dude. I'm all or nothing. I'm gonna go back to fucking baking fucking 12 pounds of chicken. I'm gonna go back to what I do, man.
Yeah, and you could, you had when you were, I know you didn't want to compete and become a pro, but like you had really incredible when you were 22.
That'll give me 13 months.
Oh wow!
For the targeted show, 13 months.
I'm very excited about this myself.
Yeah.
Okay, keep me updated. It was nice chatting with you.
Don't you think that'll be a nice thing in the industry? Don't you think?
It would be wonderful for everyone to watch. So many people love to see you compete. They haven't seen
a lot of people want to see me fail. A lot of people like to see me succeed. It'll be fun in all angles.
Exactly, it'll be very fun. But you have to document it. You don't make any videos. You don't do anything.
But hey, I'm gonna text you something that I'm not gonna say yet. But I'm gonna text you something that I'm gonna be doing for this prep. It's gonna shock you.
Okay, I'm very excited. Also, I'm going to text you about something too as well.
Okay. All right, man. Have a nice night.
Hey, it's nice chatting with you again.
All right.
Have you on soon.
All right.